Hello and welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobie Osei. Coming up on the dashboard today. Government requires at least $50 million for the establishment of a proper cybersecurity center to fight cybercrime. Also on the dashboard, Ghana Cocoa Board keeps producer price of cocoa unchanged for the second consecutive time. And later on, tax analysts task a government to enforce compliance of payment of VAT if it intends to double VAT collection. Again, government unable to identify some 700 small-scale miners who have been operating over the last 2 years. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews, analysis on the top trending business issues, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let's take our first story. Now, government says it will need up to $50 million for the establishment of a proper cybersecurity center to fight cybercrime. The establishment of such a center has become crucial. Increase in mobile phone transactions, which is nearly 1 million as at the end of August 2018. Now, government has therefore launched a nationwide awareness campaign dubbed A Safer Digital Ghana to sensitize the public on the dangers in operating in the cyberspace. There is more in the following report.
The National Cybersecurity Awareness Month was initiated to protect the economy following its digitalization. The month-long campaign is to raise awareness and sensitize the public about the dangers and unsecured use of the internet, particularly social media. Launching the campaign, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said government is working with various international partners to fight cybercrime.
I am aware, for example, the World Bank has supported the ministry to conduct a cybersecurity capacity review, which examines the state of Ghana's cybersecurity readiness, which the advisor presented earlier today. This study is expected to help Ghana prioritize its investment in cybersecurity, and I'm sure the Honorable Minister may provide details on the way forward for the implementation of the outcome of such a study. Permit me to emphasize that awareness creation and capacity building should be an important feature of the activities going forward. To this end, I wish to encourage strong links between the universities and industry to ensure our young cybersecurity experts are battle-ready. The Safer Digital Ghana campaign has been developed to respond to the increasing spate of cyber crimes and cybersecurity breaches, which would potentially undermine the gains from Ghana's digitization agenda. The campaign focuses on 4 thematic areas: children, the public, business, and the government.
Government has therefore received a $4 million funding from the World Bank to build the country's capacity in the fight against cybercrime. Communications Minister Esla Owusu-Ekufo has charged the public to support the campaign to make the country's cyberspace healthier.
They are very useful tools if used properly. If we do not practice safe cyber hygienic practices, we will be opening a back door through which cyber criminals can infect our network, steal our information, sell it on the dark web, and generally cripple our operations. So it is important that as we increasingly digitize all our operations and our services, we focus on the security aspects of that as well. We're calling on every Ghanaian, everywhere, to be part of this exercise. Help us to spread the message. We're going to have a lot of conversations around mobile financial services and the digital financial services generally. As a lot of banks and other financial services are being sold online, so have the criminals also moved to secure or to inhabit that space. We need to know how to go about our online transactions in a safer manner. And this month, we will be doing a lot of public education on all these issues which affect, and many more issues which affect all of us so intimately.
Now moving on, economist Dr. Lord Mensah has called for a count-by-count assessment of all assets and sectors in the economy before undertaking any tax reform following the rebasing of the economy. According to him, such a move will make up for the shortfall in revenue generation. Now, the Ghana Statistical Service recently announced that the economy had expanded by 32.4% following the change in the base year from 2006 to 2013. Now, the expansion in the economy has resulted in a drop in the revenue to GDP as well as a drop in the tax to GDP. There is more in the following report.
The country's economy per 2017 GDP estimates is now valued at 256.6 billion Ghana cedis, up from the 205.9 billion cedis recorded earlier following the rebasing of the economy. In 2013, the economy expanded by 32.4%, then dropped to 31.7% in 2015 and further dropped to 28.5% in 2016. Growth-wise, the economy grew by 8.6%.
The GDP dropping means that possibly the asset that we've added on to that expansion that we realized as a result of the rebasing might not necessarily be assets that contribute to tax. That is why I started by saying that we should do count-by-count assessment to look at the additions, what brought about the expansion in the rebasing, so that if there's a shortage in revenue from that side, that is generating of taxes from those sides, then obviously that is what the government is supposed to do to ensure that they get more from them.
The expansion of the economy has resulted in a drop of the tax to GDP, a situation some analysts fear will result to a hasty implementation of tax reforms to make up for the shortfall. From a point of view, the agriculture sector grew by 6.1% compared to the 8.4% recorded before the rebasing, whilst the services sector saw a drop from 4.3% to 3.3% after the rebasing. With industry recording the highest growth, Dr. Lord Mensah believes government should invest more in that sector and ensure that jobs created there are sustainable.
If you have an economy like typical African economy, and the growth is being driven by industry, then possibly myself and you should be getting job now. If we go on the street looking for job, we should get industrial job. If it's agriculture, then it means that we should have food on the market, food prices should go down and all those. So possibly we're hoping that the structure that we have now will truly reflect in the people's life going forward.
Meanwhile, for these Ghanaians, the expansion of the economy following the rebasing means nothing to them until they feel the economic benefits in their pockets.
There are a lot of changes in the system. Every day you see a lot of changes in terms of our economy, yes. But as to whether it reflects in the general public is like a question. You don't feel, if you go deep down in the system, like many people complain. It's like a normal thing. Every day people complain about economy, but if you take your time and look around, yes, you see a lot of changes.
I wouldn't say I see any improvement.
And if it is true, we want to see the infection on Ghanaians. The thing is not reflecting on our situations. And you are saying something like you have seen it yourself. It's not everybody who is seeing what you are saying. That means there's no truth.
While still focusing on taxes, some analysts have tasked government to enforce compliance of payment of VAT if it intends to double VAT collection. Their sentiment comes at the back of government's plans to double VAT collection from 10 billion cedis to over 20 billion cedis. There is more in the following report.
Ahead of government's preparations towards the 2019 budget next month, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced that one of the major areas of the budget is to double VAT collection from 10 billion cedis to over 20 billion cedis. This follows the high deficit in revenue generation, which is around 11%. The finance minister believes the move can sustain government expenditure after exit from the IMF by the end of the year. However, in achieving this, Senior Associate Consultant at Ali Nachia and Associate William Demitia says government must enforce compliance. He believes it is the ultimate way to achieve the result.
As to how we achieve that is the issue. for me, I've always maintained that the best way to achieve or increase revenue is to ensure or enforce compliance. Because I believe there are enough tax laws in Ghana. The problem we always face is whether people are complying with the law. And so I think that one of the initiatives that were done sometime last year was the introduction of what we call VAT withholding agents, such that if you are getting a contract from either a financial institution or from a government agency, instead of paying you the entire VAT sum, they would withhold a portion of it and give you a certificate. It's all about tracking to see whether people actually come and file their return.
Ghana is said to be one of the countries in West Africa with the lowest VAT collection. Although Mr. Demitia insists the idea is laudable, he says increasing VAT will not be the best solution to achieving this feat.
I'm not someone who supports an increase in rates. I don't support it because I think that for all indirect taxes such as VAT, it is regressive. It impacts the poor the more. Because if you go and buy an item that has VAT on it, nobody will ask you whether you are earning 100 Ghana cedis or 200 Ghana cedis. So long as you consume the item and it's an essential item, we all pay the same. We may consume more than the other, but if you are consuming on a normal scale, everybody pays the same. So for those who are not earning so much, it is quite regressive for them.
Now, to remain stable for the first pricing window of October. This is a prediction by the Institute of Energy Security, IES. Now, the IES attributes the findings to various indicators such as the city's performance and the marginal increase in Brent crude.
Prices of fuel went up in the last pricing window, hitting 5 cedis per litre for the first time. The development caused series of agitation among consumers. A litre of both petrol and diesel is currently pegged at 5 cedis 14 pesos and 5 cedis 18 pesos respectively, recording between 2 and 3% increase. Research analyst at the IES, Magdad Mohammed, said the stability in various indicators caused the relative stability of the prices.
Despite the movement of prices, Brent crude prices crossing the $80 per barrel mark, the price of finished products has seen the reverse. Instead of going up, it has rather gone down for gasoline, for example. And then gas oil, even though it has increased, the increment is just very marginal, less than 0.5% increment. For this particular people, based on the movement of prices downward for finished products, and then a slightly adjusted price for gas oil upwards by 0.5%.
He, however, tells City Business News prices could drop due to competition from the various oil marketing companies.
IES is projecting prices to stay the same, but as we do for every window, we make room for competition, which is that OMC would want to expand their market share or play within the market share. We want to consider the fact that prices have been relatively stable, go down a little further in terms of their pricing to attract more consumers.
You're also watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobby Osei. We're taking a break here, but when we return, Ghana Cocoa Board maintains a producer price of cocoa at 7,600 for the 2018-2019 cocoa season. We'll tell you more.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guest, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
I said, property tax, I will pay. If you come to my house, I'll cut you a check. But when did I do my presentation? February.
Yes.
Or February, yes, sometime. Nobody has come to my house.
Really?
Ghana is broke. And, that's the reality we must all come to live with.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Quero ver todo mundo balançando, ninguém pode ficar parado, essa loucura! Mexe!
Witness the twisted and tangled story of betrayal, greed, vengeance, and love in the award-winning Brazil Avenue. Carminia, a woman led by greed, gets rid of her husband, who is Rita's father, and sends Rita away to a filthy landfill. Rita finds love in Batata, but they are soon separated by adoption into different families, far away from each other. Many years later, all paths cross again, as Rita, now a renowned chef, seeks to pay back her stepmother for taking away her happiness as a child. It's a story of twists, turns, suspense, and thrilling action in Brazil Avenue. Brazil Avenue, coming soon only on City TV. Brazil Avenue.
You're welcome back. This is the Business Dashboard on City TV. We head into the cocoa sector for our next story. Now, Ghana Cocoa Board has maintained the producer price of cocoa at 7,600 Ghana cedis for the 2018-2019 cocoa season. Now, the announcement of the price was done as part of the celebration of World Cocoa Day in Accra today. But how sustainable is the current price for farmers, and is government ready to adjust it in the face of changes on the world market? The following report has more.
The producer price of cocoa is the amount that Cocoa Board pays farmers across the country for their cocoa beans. The newly announced producer price for the 2018-2019 cocoa season is the same as the price for the 2016-2017 cocoa season and the 2017-2018 cocoa season. While announcing the official opening of the 2018-2019 cocoa season, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efeakoto, said the maintenance of the producer price was in the interest of cocoa farmers.
The government, in consultation with stakeholders, has decided to maintain the producer price of cocoa at 7,600 cedis per ton for the 2018-2019 cocoa season. This figure translates into 475 cedis per bag of 64 kilogram gross weight. I would like to urge all LBCs to ensure that farmers are paid at the time of the sale of their produce at the actual price of 475 Ghana cedis per bag of 64 kilograms gross weight. This price takes effect from today, Monday, the 1st of October. The producer price has been maintained to eliminate possible harsh effects on the drastic decline on cocoa prices on the earnings of cocoa farmers.
For the CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boaheneidu, the maintenance of the producer price, coupled with falling world prices, will add to the debts on the books of Cocoa Board.
At the entire world market, when prices are dropping, the various countries also reduce the farm gate price. It's only Ghana that we don't reduce our farm gate price. And it will mean that you have to look for money to top up before you can buy cocoa. And for every 1 ton of every 1 ton of cocoa, you need between $550 to $600 to top up. And that's what created the 2 billion Ghana cedis gap, And this gap is there. And government has taken part, and then part is still sitting on our books, and The meanwhile, the price continues to fall. It means that this year.
But some farmers present at the ceremony expressed their displeasure at the producer price being maintained. Mr. Bwain Edu, while justifying the lack of an increase in the producer price, expressed confidence that the cocoa industry will continue to be a strategic pillar in boosting Ghana's economic growth with the support of all stakeholders.
Cocoa will continue to be the mainstay of the Ghanaian economy in the years ahead, serving as the biggest link between the rural economy and the formal international economy. The prospects for cocoa over the next decades are therefore very bright. With commitment of our hard-working cocoa farmers and assiduous implementation of strategic programs and policies by government and Ghana Cocoa Board, the cocoa industry will maintain its status as a beacon of hope for the development of Ghana.
Moving on, government says it is unable to identify some 700 small-scale miners who have been operating over the last 2 years. This was revealed to City Business News by the Secretary to the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Illegal Mining, Charles Bissiou. Now, Mr. Bissiou cautioned small-scale miners to avail themselves for the vetting processes of his dire consequences after the exercise ends. Kojo Ajiman has more in this report.
As part of the implementation of a roadmap culminating into the lifting of the ban on all forms of small-scale illegal mining, 1,350 registered small-scale miners are being vetted. However, 700 of them have not submitted to the process. Though a grace period has been given to such miners, the Secretary to the Inter-Ministerial Task Force on Illegal Mining, Charles Bissiou, says the miners are not opening up for the process.
The process was that we received the documentation and then we send a team out of the 650, which we're still waiting for about 700 to come. So we are assuming that 700 goes to concessions. But what I can say is that after this exercise, when we submit the report to the President, any documentation or concession that has not been captured will be deemed illegal, and the state will go back through the various agencies, i.e. Minerals Commission, EPA, and all that, under the supervision of the Inter-Ministerial Committee to ensure that demarcated, blocked out areas are given to people who apply for new licenses.
Key in the roadmap to the lifting of the ban is the use of technology-driven tools to fight illegal mining, but developments on the grounds prove otherwise. The Western Forward Operating Base do not have drones and adequate outboard motors to flush out illegal miners working along the 190-kilometer heavily polluted Ankobra River. Addressing these logistical challenges, the Secretary to the Inter-Ministerial Task Force, Charles Bissiou, also said within the week, some equipment will be distributed to all forward operating bases of Operation Vanguard.
Logistics, yes. We've trained about 20 Operation Vanguard forces as drone pilots. The drones are being prepared. This week is going out. They are going to have it, and then they work with it. I think we trained 20 years. And we've trained about 200. If we have to train more, it only takes a week. Now, we've went further and trained Operation Vanguard. And logistics, as they rightly said, is a problem. The President is talking about Ghana Beyond Aid. So we're looking at actually doing it. They have drones which have been procured for them. We've trained their men, and all they have to do is their laptops that we have to give to them, hand over to them to do processing and all that. So it's not that they do not have it. Outboard motors, yes, they have 2. And I believe if the budget that they've brought to us, which has been forwarded to Ministry of Finance, can capture that. Up until now, the government itself, like I said, Nanado is talking about Ghana Beyond Aid, has spent some money on procuring the drones. We have the drones, the mapping equipment. The President directed that we procure them. We've procured 26 vehicles for Minerals Commission. We've procured low loaders for Operation Vanguard to cut away excavations. We've procured drones, about 15 of that for them. And it's not the long endurance one, but it can go for up to 2 hours. That is what they have. And this week they're going to have them because we trained them at the University of Mines and Technology.
20 drones have been purchased for all forward operating bases of Operation Vanguard. The drones will be delivered within this week. We will be monitoring events on the ground and update you. My name is Kojo Ajiman reporting for City Newsroom.
Well, turning to banking, ADB Bank is to commence the financing of selected projects in the Ashanti and Northern regions. This will also see the bank expand its branch network in the two regions. A statement from ADB to City Business News said the bank's new focus is to work with small and medium-sized indigenous businesses with a view of helping them expand and become more competitive. In Kumasi alone, ADB will increase its branches from 5 to 7 by the end of December 2018. Now, the bank has also established trade desk at the Prempeh 2 and Kumasi market branches to support and promote foreign trade business. The bank is also in the process of completing an agreement with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly KMA to finance a multi-purpose car park in Kumasi as an agro-processing industrial project. Moving on, Passion Air has inaugurated its Accra-Tamale route, which is to facilitate air transport to the northern part of the country. Commercial flights are expected to commence on Tuesday, October 2, 2018. Now, Passion Air is the second domestic airline whose entrance has been viewed as necessary as it has contributed to competitive pricing within the domestic aviation space. Speaking at a ceremony to herald the new route, the Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Ahansan Suhuyini, is confident the coming in of another competitor will drive down cost. He, however, charged Passion Air to commit to improve customer service.
But this is a huge relief for the people who have business, especially in this part of the country. In the last couple of months, since Africa One became the only airline that flight the Tamale route, it has inconvenienced a lot of people, sometimes due to the fact that they are able to get tickets at the times that they wanted. Because of the passenger load. So for many who do business in this part of the country, the arrival of Passion Air is a huge relief. But also more importantly is the fact that it has created some jobs for the men and women and the young people, especially in this part of the country. A number of them lost their jobs as a result of what happened to previous airlines, and some of them have had the opportunity to get those jobs back, and others who were initially not even in the industry have gotten the opportunity to come on board. So it is our hope and prayer that they will work assiduously, they will be committed to the excellence that I am sure Passion Air is determined to offer. That will lead to expansion of Passion Air and also the growth of the aviation industry in general, which I'm sure will lead to the creation of many more jobs for our teeming unemployed youth. So that part is something that is quite, gratifying. And again, the fact that it will facilitate business between the capital and the northern region especially.
Well, on that note, we end today's edition of the Business Dashboard on City TV. For more news, do visit citybusinessnews.com. Thanks for your time. My name is Bobby Ose. We'll catch you tomorrow at 7 p.m. with more news from the world of business. Keep watching City TV.